So here I'm going to tell you about the different types of pulses, and we'll be mainly studying the clinical value of examination of the radial and carotid pulse at bedside. So remember, whenever you are examining, whenever you're studying the peripheral arterial pulses, it mainly includes the examination of the radial pulse, the carotid pulse, the femoral pulse, popliteal pulse, posterior tibial, and the dorsalis pedis. Okay, so you are supposed to check all these pulses. And examination, whenever you perform the examination, it should always be performed under these headings. You have to look at the rate of the pulse, the rhythm of the pulse, the volume of the pulse, the character or the quality of the pulse, the condition of the vessel wall, and the radiofemoral delay. Okay, so these are the things which you have to look into whenever you are examining a pulse, be it a radial, carotid, femoral, popliteal, posterior tibial, dorsalis pedis. These are mainly the peripheral pulses. Okay, so what do you understand by rate? Rate means whether in the normal, what's the normal pulse rate? Normal pulse rate is 60 to 100 beats per minute. Okay. What is bradycardia? When the rate is less than 60 beats per minute. Tachycardia, when the rate is more than 100 beats per minute. Okay. So bradycardia, this is mainly seen. Let us first discuss about the rate portion. Rate means you'll see what is the rate, whether it is the normal or whether it is less or whether it is more, whether it is bradycardia or whether it is tachy. Bradycardia, it is seen physiologically. It can be seen in athletes. It can be seen in patients with hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism patients, they can suffer from, bradycardia. Then certain drugs like beta blockers, they can cause bradycardia. You can get hypothermia, can cause bradycardia. Okay, heart block can cause bradycardia. What about tachycardia? Fever, anxiety, pregnancy, hyperthyroidism, tachyarrhythmias, and similarly certain drugs like salbutamol. So these are the different causes of your the tachyarrhythmias. Okay. Then next we have to look into the rhythm. So rhythm, what do you understand by rhythm? Rhythm, how will you assess the rhythm? Remember, the rate is mainly assessed by examining the radial pulse. The rhythm is also assessed by examining the radial pulse. What is the meaning of the word rhythm? Whether it is a regular rhythm or whether it is an irregular rhythm. Okay. So in certain cases, it is a completely irregular rhythm that you won't find any, like maybe the first pulse and the second pulse and again like this. It is completely irregular. There is no regularity. It is completely irregular. Or you can find a irregularly irregular. Like it is, suppose like it is irregular. Okay, I'll discuss these later. First, what do you understand by the completely irregular? As I told you, like this, and it's completely irregular. That it has got no this doesn't reflect the volume, this normal regularity, and this should be like this. It's completely irregular. Okay, regularly irregular means like it is not regular. Like suppose I say you, this is your regular one. I'll tell you the parts of the pulse and all. I'll describe, although little bit it is process. Okay, so it's completely this is a regular one. Okay, this is a completely irregular one. And what is the meaning of regularly irregular? Means it is irregular, but it is regularly irregular. I hope so you can understand by this. You can find this is not at all regular, but it is regularly irregular. Okay, so completely irregular type, this you can find it properly. This you can find it in cases of atrial fibrillation and in certain extrasystoles. Okay, regularly irregular. This you can find it in pulsus bigeminus. We'll discuss what is pulsus bigeminus. pulsus bigeminus, pulsus trigeminus, partial AV block. Okay, so in all these things, you can find this regularly irregular. And these are the main things, and regular is the regular one. Okay, so this is about the rhythm. Next, come to the volume. Okay, so what did I say in the beginning? Rate, how are you going to assess? By examining the radial artery. Rhythm, how are you going to assess? By examining the radial artery. Volume, how are you going to assess? By assessing, how are you going to examine? By assessing the carotid artery. Okay, so you have to examine the carotid artery. You have to assess the carotid, examine the carotid artery for assessing the volume of the pulse. Now, volume means either it is going to be a hypokinetic pulse. You can feel the volume is less. Okay, the hypokinetic or hyperkinetic. Hypokinetic, why? Why the volume will be less? Because less amount of volume is coming out from the left ventricle. This is called as the decreased left ventricular stroke volume can cause a hypokinetic pulse. This can cause a hypokinetic pulse, decreased left ventricular stroke volume. Okay, or maybe there is increased peripheral resistance. And what do you understand by the hyperkinetic pulse? Hyperkinetic pulse, there is increased, or just opposite, increased left ventricular stroke volume, or there is going to be a decreased peripheral vascular resistance. Okay, so these can cause a hyperkinetic pulse. So what can be the reasons of hypokinetic pulse? Why will the stroke volume from the left ventricle decrease? Maybe due to any sort of stenosis. Whenever there is a stenosis, okay, so that can lead to a decreased left ventricular stroke volume. What stenosis? It can be a mitral stenosis, it can be aortic stenosis. Okay, apart from this, there can be heart failure. Okay, there can be shock, heart failure, heart is not properly able to pump the blood, shock. Okay, then what else? It can be hypovolemia. Simple hypovolemia can also cause hypokinetic pulse. Hyperkinetic can be anemia, fever, thyrotoxicosis, exercise, pregnancy. Apart from that, in mitral regurgitation, aortic regurgitation, patent ductus arteriosus, okay, VSD, ventricular septal defect. Okay, and sometimes in complete heart block also you get a hyperkinetic pulse. Okay, so this is about the volume of the pulse. Okay, next come to the character or quality. This you need to know. Character, quality, we have got different classifications under this. The character or the quality of the pulse. Okay, so for the character quality of the pulse also, we are going to examine the carotid artery for this, right? So carotid artery is usually used to assess the character of the pulse. Sometimes radial artery can also give you a better information. So let us look at the different types of pulse. So what happens, you know, a normal pulse, it has mainly got two phases. Okay, so first, this is your systolic phase. Then there is a dicrotic notch, and here is your diastolic phase. This is your systolic phase, and this is your diastolic phase. Okay, so this systolic phase is because of the peak aortic flow, and then there is this downstroke. This is steep in the beginning, and then it gradually becomes less steep. This is because of the aortic valve closure, right? So what happens, like this is the normal pulse, you know, this just similarly, it will just continue like this. Well, there is some okay, just let us concentrate on one, draw the rest afterwards. So this is the systolic phase of the pulse. This is the diastolic phase of the pulse. Okay, so this is your normal, you know, represent waveform. This is a normal waveform of the normal pulse. Now, what happens, do you think there will be any changes during inspiration and expiration in this waveform of the pulse? Yes, there will be a change. Usually in the inspiration, this pulse volume. What happens during the inspiration? Inspiration, there is around minor, at least less than 10 millimeter mercury changes in the inspiration. During the inspiration, okay, there is as such in inspiration, there is a decrease in the systolic blood pressure. Okay, so it is less than 10 millimeters mercury decrease in the systolic blood pressure in the normal inspiration. This is the normal inspiration. And when the person expire during the expiration, how will the graph change? It will become a little bit more, not much. Although, okay, ये तुम्हारा normal. This is your normal waveform. Okay, this is your during inspiration, and this is during expiration. Okay, so during inspiration, what happens is that there is a decrease in the systolic blood pressure, and during inspiration there is a slight increase in the systolic blood pressure. Okay, so this is your normal pulse. Now what happens during certain conditions, like it can be during cardiac tamponade or during like COPD. Sometimes what happens, this decrease in the systolic blood pressure, this becomes more than 10 millimeters of mercury. Okay, you can find a quite difference between this inspiratory waveforms and the expiratory waveforms. Let us do like this. Something like this you can say. In certain situations, like I told you, as in case of your cardiac tamponade, or in case of COPD, sometimes there is a difference of there is a decrease in the systolic blood pressure by more than 10 millimeters of mercury. This situation, this is called as, see, as such, normally there is a decrease in systolic blood pressure, but it will be less than 10 millimeters of mercury. But when this decrease in systolic blood pressure in the inspiratory phase becomes more than 10 millimeters of mercury, this thing, it is called as your pulsus paradoxus. Pulsus paradoxus. So this you can find in the character or the quality of the pulse. During the character and the quality of the pulse, you can get this, that the inspiratory phase is having a difference of more than 10 millimeters of mercury. Okay, so this is one type. Rest, what else we know about the different types of pulses? Let us first draw a normal pulse again. Let us draw a normal pulse again, otherwise you won't be able to understand. Okay. Next, let us draw a pulsus parvus. Pulsus parvus. Pulsus parvus is just a hypokinetic pulse. Okay, it is just a hypokinetic pulse. Comparing to this, you can just find that the volume has reduced a bit. Okay, this is your pulsus parvus. It is a hypokinetic pulse. It has got a low amplitude, and you can understand why it is occurring because there is a decrease in the left ventricular stroke volume. There can be heart failure, or there can be some stenosis, because of which there is a decrease in the left ventricular stroke volume, leading to this pulsus parvus. Then next is your pulsus tardus. Pulsus parvus, remember, it is a hypokinetic pulse. What is a pulsus tardus? Pulsus tardus is a slow rising pulse. Look at the way it is rising. It will be somewhat like this. It will be rising very slowly. Gradual rise. Not like this, like this. Gradually it will rise. It is a slow rising pulse. Pulsus tardus. Right? So this is your pulsus parvus. These are all the different characters or qualities of the pulse. When you look for the, when you examine the patient, when you examine that particular artery, carotid artery mainly, you can find this one. Okay. Now there is one more character of the pulse in which you will find both these things. Both these qualities you will find. You will find the pulse is hypokinetic, plus the pulse is also rising slowly. So what name will you give to this kind of pulse? That is your pulsus parvus et tardus. It is having both the things. It is a low volume pulse, plus it is rising slowly. It is having both these features. It is called as pulsus parvus et tardus. And where can you see this? Pulsus parvus et tardus. What is the significance of this? Just you find the pulse and you should know why this patient is having this abnormal pulse. Okay, I told you how does the normal pulse look like. I told you, right? I showed you how the normal pulse look like and all. So this is abnormal. So when does it occur? It occurs in mainly in cases of, it is seen mainly in cases of aortic stenosis. Okay. Okay. Next character of pulse, that is your anacrotic pulse. Anacrotic dicrotic pulse. First, let us really talk about anacrotic pulse, then we shall talk about dicrotic pulse. Okay. So what is this anacrotic pulse? Anacrotic pulse, it is a variant of your pulsus parvus et tardus. It is, just like pulsus parvus et tardus. It has got the anacrotic pulse has got, it's a hypokinetic pulse, slow rising pulse. But why it is called as typically anacrotic pulse? Because here a notch is palpable at the peak of the systolic phase. At the upstroke, you see this is your upstroke. Okay, so it is also a slow rising pulse, but here you can find a notch. Remember, it is a variant of pulsus parvus et tardus, but you can palpate a notch. A notch is palpable when you place your fingers on the carotid artery. You can palpate a notch at the upstroke of this pulse wave. This is called as your anacrotic pulse. Right? So again, this anacrotic pulse, what is the significance? This is also seen in severe aortic stenosis. Okay. Okay. Next type of pulse. This is also, let us talk about the dicrotic pulse just after anacrotic. Let us talk about this dicrotic pulse. See, in anacrotic pulse, you can find one palpable peak. There is a notch which is palpable at the upstroke of this pulse wave. In the dicrotic pulse, you can feel two. Feel two notches. One at the systolic phase, another at the diastolic phase. This dicrotic pulse has got two palpable waves. One at the systole and another in the diastole. Let us draw a dicrotic pulse. In dicrotic pulse, here you can feel a notch. Again, you can feel a notch here. You can palpate two notches. You can palpate two notches. One in the systole. This is a little bit sharp, okay, a peak, a notch, and this is another notch. Okay. So remember, in dicrotic pulse, it has got two palpable waves. One in the systole, another in the diastole. Okay. And again, where do we mainly see the dicrotic pulses? It is mainly seen in extreme dehydration, or this is also, you can find it in the situations of cardiac tamponade. Okay, or you can also find it in the cases of dilated cardiomyopathy. Okay, or in advanced heart failure. So these are the different situations where you can, a normal dehydration, extreme dehydration also, you can feel this two peaks. Dicrotic pulse. There are two palpable notches, one in the systole, another in the diastole. Here the notch is mainly in the systole, in the upstroke. Okay. Next, let us come to the collapsing or the water hammer pulse. This is also a very important pulse. Collapsing, this often comes in MCQs, or you can often be asked, ki collapsing or water hammer pulse is seen in which situations? Remember, collapsing or water hammer pulse, collapsing, ing. Collapsing or water hammer pulse, it is seen mainly in aortic regurgitation. Collapsing or water hammer pulse. So what happens in this collapsing? Remember, this collapsing pulse is a high volume pulse. Just now we discussed anacrotic pulse was a low volume pulse. Okay, but this collapsing pulse is the high volume pulse, and it is a quite high volume pulse. You know, there is a rapid upstroke. Okay, and then there is a rapid downstroke. Right? There is a rapid upstroke and there is a rapid downstroke. Usually it is like this. Rapid upstroke and rapid downstroke. It is a high volume pulse having a rapid upstroke and it is having a rapid downstroke. Okay, so why this is the rapid upstroke? Because you know in aortic regurgitation there is an increased stroke volume, and why there is this rapid downstroke? Because what happens in aortic regurgitation? The blood, it will again flow back into the aorta, isn't it? So there is this diastolic leak back into this left ventricle. The blood in the valves are not, there is regurgitation here, and therefore there is again the leak back into the ventricle. So initially there is an increased stroke volume, because of which there is this rapid upstroke. Then again this thing, you know, this blood, that's again, there is a leak, diastolic leak. In the diastolic phase, there is again a leak into the left ventricle, because of which there is a rapid downstroke. And this is a thing which happens in this collapsing water hammer pulse. Okay, so remember, what is the significance? It's very commonly asked. It is seen in case of aortic regurgitation. It is asked. Okay, anacrotic pulse, dicrotic pulse, collapsing water hammer pulse seen in aortic regurgitation. Right? So next, let's come to the next type, that is your pulsus alternans. From the name you can get it very well. So what is pulsus alternans? Pulsus alternans means there is this normal pulse, it is alternating with a small volume pulse. Okay, that is, the large volume pulse is altering with the small volume pulse. That is first like this normal pulse, then you have got again a small volume pulse, and again like this, and again a small volume pulse. Okay. So a large volume, small volume beats, they are alternating. Okay, so again, where is this pulsus alternans seen? This is also commonly asked, pulsus alternans. It is mainly, it is seen in case of acute left ventricular failure. It is seen in acute left ventricular failure, pulsus alternans. Okay, okay. Next come to the pulsus bigeminus. Pulsus bigeminus. From the name only you can get it, that there must be something, bi matlab two. Okay, so this is in this pulsus bigeminus, you can feel it as two beats followed by a pause. Okay, so in pulsus bigeminus, you can, it is something like this. Immediately you can feel two beats, then there is a pause. Then you can feel two beats, then there is a pause. Okay, so pulsus bigeminus, it is mainly, you can feel two beats, then it is followed by a pause, and thereby it is producing a type of irregular rhythm. Okay, so this pulsus bigeminus, remember, it is mainly seen whenever there is an ectopic beat, or in case of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. In hypertrophic cardiomyopathy seen, or ectopic beats, they cause this pulsus bigeminus. Okay, so these were about all the different types of the pulses I told you, the different characters of the pulses. Pulsus paradoxus also have already discussed with you. In the beginning only I had discussed about the pulsus paradoxus, but I think I didn't tell you about what is the significance of pulsus paradoxus. Pulsus paradoxus, what did I say you? What is pulsus paradoxus? During inspiration, there is a decrease of more than 10 millimeters of mercury. Okay, so what is the, when you see a pulsus paradoxus, what is the significance of this? Yes, I think I told you, right? It is seen in cardiac tamponade and constrictive pericarditis, COPD, severe bronchial asthma, tension pneumothorax. In all these cases, you can find this pulsus paradoxus. Okay, so this was all about your different types of pulses. Just a little bit more information. Remember, what do you understand by pulse deficit? Some of the things which you need to know. What is pulse deficit? And what do you understand by radiofemoral delay? What do you understand by pulse deficit? Pulse deficit means when the heart rate is more than the pulse rate. This situation is called as the pulse deficit. Okay. And what do you understand by radiofemoral delay? Radiofemoral delay means, there is a difference in the pulse. When you palpate the femoral pulse and when you palpate the radial pulse, you can find that there is a difference in the pulse rate between the radial pulse and the femoral pulse. Often what happens is that the femoral pulse, why do you see, what is the significance again? What significance of this radiofemoral delay is that it often occurs in the coarctation of the aorta. The coarctation of aorta, it often occurs in coarctation of aorta. The femoral pulse jo hai, this becomes of small volume, okay, and you will have, the lower limb pressures are less than the upper limb pressures. Okay, there is hypertension in upper limb and hypotension in lower limbs, right? Radiofemoral delay, the significance is in coarctation of aorta. Okay, so these things you should know. And sometimes there is also difference in pulses on the two sides of the body. That can be because of some thrombosis or embolism. So all these things also you have to take into consideration whenever you are looking for the pulse. Okay, so this is all about the pulse. So I told you about what are the things which you're supposed to see when you're examining the pulse. So what are you going to see? Rate, rhythm, volume, character, condition of vessel wall, and the radiofemoral delay. And you have got lots of classification in this character or quality. So you go through that. This is all about the pulses.